with a triple. He does get a kill on his own teammate, but it doesn't really matter right now.
Jones just still going. He finds 3 as well. Might do the smoke and finds 2. That might just be it for EU's finest. Disgusting from Dragons. Lovely stuff from Sergio. Oh my god. Saki, TJ and Breaker, you'll go back to the respawn team. Oh my god, Breaker finds 3. TJ just finds 3 massive kills for his team. Welcome back, ladies and gents. We're into the second game here. We did just see Rig Reserve take on EU's finest.
Yep.
Ended differently to how it did on land, though. It was EU's finest to take this one 2-0. I don't want to say it was convincing. First map was comfortable, second was close, and in the end they do just prosper. But we are going to move on to our other game. Same teams that we had in every single game of the Pro League last year. I keep saying that. It's wrong, but it's right. Last year, yeah, I'm
calendar year.
Last calendar year.
Last quarter.
Last quarter is the term. Cheers, mate. Thank you. Is the terminology I should be using. But the last quarter, we did see Rated R and we did see Obey. Those two teams will go up against each other once again, and we've seen some good games between these two last year as well.
Oh yes.
And this time round, though, rosters have changed. So will we see changes in that? I'm not too sure. In all honesty.
Yeah, I mean the rosters that we now have are ever so slightly different.
Yeah.
Ever so slightly. We got J-Rage and Ashens coming in on that Obey side.
Yes.
And they were in that qualification tournament and they played extremely well in that. Obey, I would say they look stronger in that, but it's difficult to really get
the competition is a slightly lower level, I would say.
Exactly. It's very difficult to judge. So it'll be interesting to see how they do fare against Rated R. Rated R as well, also getting a little bit of a change too. 2 players there switching on that Rated R roster, seeing Marsh come in as a huge trade up, in my opinion, and also strikers as well, who we saw last quarter on Regal Reserve.
Yeah, so there is changes afoot, of course. So it's going to be interesting to see if these who comes in better prepared. Now, if you're Obey, you've already had a little bit of competitive experience with this team, at least. You know, you obviously went through that qualifier once again after finishing the lowest point in 4th in the Pro League last quarter, of course. But they've already had the chance to play with them on a competitive level, whereas on the Rated R side of things, yes,
not so much.
scrims, etc., would have been there, but it's still not the same as the real thing, they say. However, looking at this, though, on paper, I think I prefer the Rated R changes.
Yes, it's very difficult to say, right?
Yeah,
because
it is hard to say until they play each other.
You could quite easily put strikers Marsh, J-Rage, and Ashens on a team together with one other, and you would say that's probably a Pro League team right there. So these new signings, so to speak, they're all very, very top tier caliber players, and until they really start to gel with their teams, and we really start to see how the teams as a whole have prepared, I find it very difficult to judge between the two because. On paper, I think I actually rate J-Rage and Ashens above Marsh and Strikers as a duo. How they fit into those two rosters is a different matter, though. Okay, well, we will find out. Here's the maps, anyway. I think picks and bans have already flown on through. Although, oh, no, we're going to get them anyway. Thank you very much, Matt. Obey Alliance spanning out Exhibit. Rated R getting rid of Vasgar District, then picked by Rated R. And Icebound picked by Obey Alliance. Asylum, Bunker gone. Training Grounds is what we will see if we do see a map number 3. So District and Icebound. I don't mind this for Rated R, I want to say, but it is hard to say now, especially because the team changes. So does it change the dynamic of these teams? Does it change the way they play? You know what? I mean, the one thing I'm not surprised about everything on the bottom of the screen there is that ban from Rated R, that first one, that Vasgar ban. We saw them lose so many, round 13s, round 9s.
An Exhibit coming out of Obey isn't a surprise either.
Yeah. And also Vasgar, they've lost it to Obey as well. We hark back to that triple kill that Breaker got with the drop shot, and lots of memories there. That are good memories for Obey, real bad memories for Rated R. So no surprise to see Vasgar gone. National District coming in as that first map. I think that's going to be a very, very interesting one to watch. And we might get to see Train Grounds up at the end there as well. Bunker again, no real surprise there. Obey looked reasonably good on it against EU's finest last quarter, and if there changes or anything to go by, they should be better on it this time around. Well, let's have some predictions from yourself then for what we're saying, because I think this one is actually quite hard to predict. New rosters on both sides of the fence here, and I mean, they were already close last season as well. It's really tough. It is tough. I've seen Obey play. I liked how they play.
On that basis.
Honestly, like, it's not so much about the opposition that they beat, but how they were responding to certain scenarios and how they were, respecting their opponent when they need to be respected, playing safe and playing aggressive when those two options were relevant, essentially.
Yeah.
So I am going to go with Obey, but I will go 2-1 Obey because I do think that this Rated R roster is an improvement, and I do think that they were very, very close last time around. I think both teams have leveled up ever so slightly, and I think it's still ever so slightly in Obey's favour. The only reason Obey got pushed down into that qualification tournament was because of the placements over in San Diego. They were joint, basically, going into that. And the only reason that they were joint is because Rated R got that, at this point, a fluke win over EU's finest. That's why I'm going with Obey.
Okay. I'll allow you. That's good reasoning. Good reasoning. I'll go just to go up against you, really. Well, I think with Rated R.
Okay.
I think
2-1 or 2-0 or.
I'm gonna say 2-0.
2-0.
I'm gonna say 2-0.
Got confidence in Marsh.
I think I do.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of time for Marsh, and I think if he can bring what we expect from him to the table, then this is a good place for him to start his Gears 5 season. In all fairness.
Yep.
And thank the Lord, Rated R have actually changed their tags.
Aren't they lovely though? With the RR now.
God.
I was looking at that and thinking something's different here. What's different? And I thought for a moment it was just because Marsh was in there and Strike, but no, you're right. It's because we don't have Leonard and Toast and
thank you
all that lot in there.
Dov and stupid names all over the stuff.
Yeah.
Ah, right.
I mean, you ought to see the Spanish in the qualification tournament that we had.
I don't want to hear it.
You don't.
No.
We had Xbox Live generated names all the way down the roster.
I once
it was a fun one.
When I set up my brother's Xbox account way back when, I accidentally gave him a random generated name. He came out with Elvis like Karma.
Oh, nice. That's not bad.
Nice.
There are a lot.
He stuck with it, in fairness. He's went with that, and he still has that. Anyway, irrelevant of that, completely irrelevant of Gears of War right now, but it is going to be actually Rated R with the better start here. The extension over towards A. They have all the C. First couple of kills go in their favour, and that's giving them a little bit of positioning over towards the hill here.
Yep, and you do see actually on the corner of the screen, Rated R, we're trying to get in through that green, through that juice room as well. They're looking pretty good. TJ's managed to get himself a good kill, which is going to alleviate a little bit of pressure here. But honestly, he needs to get to a hill. He needs to get to B hill, in my opinion, and try and guard that a little bit. Try and spread the map a little bit. Get this fight away from the A hill. TJ's going to fall. Let's jump overboard. Let's see what's going on here. Saki is over at B hill, sorry, not TJ. Saki, he was one of the players that was being discussed on the NA Pro League show yesterday as being an influential player for this Obey roster. But
so he's dead.
Yeah, not that influential just yet.
You cursed him. He would have won that gunfight if you didn't say that.
Oh well. This is what it is. It's happened now.
I
Can't take it back.
1-0 to Rated R there. Convincing round, and
it was.
Yeah.
It was a nice opening push on that home.
Yeah, I think that was it, wasn't it? Once that gets set up, then Obey are maybe a little bit stuck on what to do. Rated R, punish them for that. We'll take a lead, of course. No kills on the board for Dragons. Breaker, or you took the scoreboard down when I was on the last one. J-Rage.
Just testing you.
Pains, just testing obviously. Me?
Yep. Yeah. A photographic memory. We've got to get it. Pains on the other side. He's the young gun for this Rated R roster. 4 kills leading the way. Looking all right so far.
Let's see, will he go with the same tactic once again? It's a push into no man's land by J-Rage, so gets caught with his pants down. Breaker and Co now having to back on down. Go. A little bit of an unfortunate roll from Payne straight into the shotgun of Breaker once again, but these kills just about being traded in the favour of Rated R. Plenty of fire coming down though, and Striker's in a really, really bad spot. TJ should be able to clean this one up, and he was so good last season, wasn't he?
He was. Honestly, he continued that through that qualification tournament as well, and was one of the reasons that Obey looked so strong. The very last round of the tournament actually had a triple kill up on top bridge in Asylum, just to finish things off in style. Yep, he was a very good player. And one of those that kind of came out of the woodwork a little bit. We were, we were hyping on Breaker, we were hyping on Demonic, but TJ kind of slipped under there, and then really did show up last quarter. And he's back with a vengeance. Hopefully, hopefully for Obey at least, they don't fall back down into that qualification spot again.
Strikers are caught in a bit of a tough spot here. They are trying to defend this C flag. So the OB Alliance are trying to get themselves set up here. Smoke was in, as is the flash. Here comes the push. Ashens and Cup trying to push forward. Breaker. Nobody able to quite engage yet as Dragons drops Ashens down. Suddenly it's a 4v2, and there's the hold coming in from Rated R. Nice and easily done. Ashens, though, is going to drop 2. They will be picked back up, but the threat is there from him. The shotguns are solid. They are landing. He's going to find 1, so he's done well to stay alive here. His teammate in tow as well. But the problem is that score is ticking up for Rated R. 100 seconds away from a win here.
Red Dragons like a book then. He knew exactly what he was going to do there. Mark of a good player. Slazen goes down. Nice pistol angle here. Isn't able to connect with too much, but does look like they're going to get that kill on Slazer. TJ, he's going to go down as well. Gets cleaned up by Pains. Marsh up there as well, just trying to keep people at bay. And Rated R, they're doing well at moving around the map very, very quickly. They're taking the kills. See Marsh here just timing Breaker out there.
Yep, that's all it is.
That's all it is. Now we see Obey. They're going to push back through.
Let's keep them off the map as long as possible.
Strikers, yep. You see the setup here. This is a lovely setup from Rated R. You see them on the minimap. You see them on the screen. It's so difficult to break. TJ, once he moves up here, he's going to get lanced out from this window as well, so he's going to be very, very careful. I mean, they can possibly bait and then move someone up this mid street, which looks like what they're going to do, but they are so far behind in points now that, well, Rated R, they're just looking very, very strong.
It's going to be tough. Saki and Co trying to get something done, but you feel as if it's taking a little bit too long. Kills going in the favour of Rated R momentarily here. They just need to hold on to 1. They don't even need to do that. That's another round on the board for them. 2-0 now. Obey, in that situation, I would have liked to see them move a lot faster than they did. Yep.
Yeah, that's the difference between that bottom 2 and that top 2, is that quickness, that speed of decision making, and realistically, yep, you're right. They needed to make a decision. They need to be... At this point, it shouldn't really be a decision because that's a very, very standard setup from Rated R.
Yeah.
So they should have a response to it already. They should be able to just make that.
It should be a case of
play.
Let's make sure we move this way because we don't have that much time.
Everyone get in position and we make the play. And you know, we've already got that dialed down before we come in. We're not having to make plays up off the top of our head. That said, though, it is still early days, and honestly, this is also Rated R's pick, so Rated R should be a little bit more confident on this map. They picked it for a reason. It looks like they're pretty good at it. So.
Twins threatening with the incend there. So a couple of flashes going to come in here from Obey Alliance defensively, but Rated R getting aggressive once again. Will garner control of this mid map. Don't have much control of much else though. In fairness. Need to try and get rid of the guys over towards B. It's going to be Saki. He's going to make the push up. Is going to get taken down by Marsh as well. Break it. Push forward whilst his team was alive, but now momentarily found himself in a 2v1 spot. But Pains coming over to try and help his team as the rest of the OB Alliance are going to try and engage here, but that's a big gunfight for Pains to win. Now they should be able to force him out. J-Rage in between a rock and a hard place, or 3 members of Rated R. He will go down also. Rated R move around the map very, very well there for him.
Yep, Marsh just doing what he does best. Taking lives is another one. Gets that knife down. And honestly, they haven't got an answer for Marsh just yet. Pains too looks to be kind of leading the way for Rated R here. And honestly, they need to step up to Obey. They are falling behind in this game, and be very careful. It is 2-0 the score to Rated R at the moment, and possibly 3-0 as well, as they have so much damage down here. TJ is so weak as well. Domination going to come in 6 seconds, 3 seconds. It's going to be a Rated R round once again.
It's just a little bit too easy, isn't it? For
it is. I mean, it's good play by Rated R. They're finding their kills very, very quickly.
Yep.
And Obey, they're just
not at the races.
They're not at the races, and they're a bit flat. They seem to.
It's almost like they don't have anything. It's like, okay, win a couple of gunfights here and there, but then they're not reacting to what Rated R are doing very well. And
you go through,
a strange one.
Like as Rated R, you're going through these pushes and you're kind of layering plays on top of each other, right? Like that's the mark of a good team, is that you see the 2 downs. A lot of teams would just be like, okay, we've got 2 downs, fly at the 2 downs, get the kills. Rated R, in that circumstance, knowing that the 2 players, you know, the one that was down and the one that was raving, were going to have to back off, then, you know, allocated some more of those resources back to middle and took a fight elsewhere, and they were just kind of pushing back in that layered fight, and it's a nice way to do it. It's good gears, essentially, is what it is, and it's smart gears. But this time around, Obey look like they have a little bit of an answer if it's not J-Rage shooting his teammates in the bum.
Well, the thing is, for me, is that OB Alliance have sort of been a little bit reactive to what Rated R are doing.
That's a disgusting couple of shots there from Dragons, but quite honestly, TJ should have been nowhere near that. Dragons is going to get traded out, and it potentially may result...
It's going to get caught as well.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, I say it's unfortunate, it's a miss input, but it's unfortunate for Obey, because they were looking pretty good there, and that one down by TJ cost them their entire setup. It's cost them a hill, it's going to cost them a lot of points, and it's going to, you know, be a lot more difficult to get back into this game now if Rated R have this double cap.
Well, J-Rage, you got a lot of this round left, and you have no more lives to play with. So you usually have to go and slow this one down. If you're Rated R, you are hunting. But this is a good situation for Rated R now. They can wait for the push to come through. They know that J-Rage is, I said, down low on lives at least. So they know that OB Alliance have to think about that one with the rest of the round in mind. But once again, when we seen Rated R set up like this last time round, it didn't look like they were budging.
TJ just hiding out underneath as well. He's going to be careful. He's going to get pushed if Slazen is quick enough. He's going to get a lot of damage down on TJ. TJ moving around. Put himself in another bad situation here. Flashbang's going to come out, but TJ will be the play.
How is he alive?
Oh, Breaker's made a big play. Is how he's alive. He's come around the corner, managed to kill Saki, kept his teammate alive, and now Saki making that push. Marsh should die here. He's going to fall. There is a down as well. They can just leave that down, to be quite honest. Go for the A-Hill, support your teammate. Ashens, he's going to be able to get that kill. And now Obey, they've got to do as much as they can. Take Strikers out, get this decap. They're wasting a lot of time just waiting for Strikers to back out of that hill. Pains is now on the offensive. Great incendiary here, just to get a lot of damage down, just cutting out the entire of the steps. No one can really move down there. Payne's going to fall. He's going to get barbecued.
Nicely done by OB Alliance there.
Much better round.
Yeah.
Much better round.
And it comes off the, I want to say, the catalyst of Breaker.
Yes.
Push him around. If he doesn't save TJ there, then, you know, they may still go on to do that, but they don't have the numbers that they did.
Yep.
So, yeah, really well played by OB Alliance to finally get back into this one. That had 4-0 Rated R written all over it, Fruit.
It did indeed, and yeah, it was Breaker's play, because honestly, TJ was in a very, very bad spot, and it's, you know, that's kind of out of character. You know, we didn't see that too much last quarter, and now this time around, we're seeing him. Yeah, it looked a little bit panicked. It might have been calculated, but it did look a little bit panicked.
Yeah. It was like, I'm going to make you push, but maybe he moved like 3 seconds earlier than he should have.
Yeah.
Well, in the second half we go. The points will change up. He will go down towards the bandstand. Whereas the home hills will, of course, switch back up towards the top side of the map. Ashens is going to find one and eventually starting to get a few kills on the board here. OB Alliance getting back into this game.
Yep, TJ, he's pushing. He's right in the spawn, actually. He's got to be very careful because he's not in a good spot there. Just a bit, like if he'd have sat down at the bottom near the hotel and just held that angle, it's so difficult to push up into this info room, but because TJ wasn't there to hold that angle, his teammate got pushed. Now we're seeing Rated R just trying to get a little bit of control over this map here. They've managed to get themselves info. They're going to start to make their way down this mid-street now as well. Strikers gets a kill on Ashens. Bit of a bad spot there for Breaker and J-Rage as well. Pains finds himself a double kill.
Looking better for Rated R here after a good start from Obey.
Saki's so weak.
Gets away with the skin of his teeth there. And once again, Rated R will be able to set up here.
Can you see this position here from Strikers? That was the position I was talking about. Just sitting on the corner here. He's got all the angles. And now it's Obey. They're on the defensive a little bit here. Ashens, he's going to push out a little bit, but they're going to be careful not to push too far. Rated R have a very, very good setup here. And you see now Breaker deciding to move back. It wasn't safe out there. His teammate needs to move around. Let's have a look what's going on the other side of things.
Dragons now over towards E, and they're quite happy. We've seen them before. They sit on these leads. 60 seconds to go for a rated R 41 lead.
And you can see just how much the game has slowed down when it's Obey's turn to make that decision, right? They really are in a bit of a rough spot. They need to hold hands here. Ashen's going to fall down as well. His teammates are both down on the floor. They're going to get cleaned up. This is going to be rated R. Walking through it. Saki's managed to get himself a trade. But realistically, that was a fantastic hold from rated R. They defended well, absorbed pressure. In the end, they might have got themselves a triple cap for this.
TJ trying to get something done just to deny the inevitable, really. It's maybe a waste of a life, in all fairness, but 4-1 to rated R now, 1 round away from closing out map number 1. Looking solid, it has to be said. Albeit get that final few seconds domination in the previous round. Other than that, though, it has been all rated R. Dominant, in all fairness.
Yep, they were indeed.
Marsh at the top of the leaderboard. You like to see that if you're a rated R fan.
Yep, and you like to see that as Marsh is making his debut in this Pro League.
Yep.
This is, you know, to those of you at home who have not really heard or seen Marsh play before, he was up on the EU's finest roster in Gears 4, and
huge fallout.
There was, yes, a very, very difficult time for that roster, and for Marsh specifically, he ended up getting dropped or quit the team, or whoever you want to believe. He parted ways. And has kind of fallen off a little bit since, in terms of his exposure to this top-level Gears of War. But now, back in this Pro League with this rated R squad, this good-looking rated R squad as well so far. Good to see his name back in the swing of things, to be honest with you.
The rated R the ones getting things done here. Round number 6. All the kills going in their favour. Obey Alliance can rest on the fact that these respawn queues are pretty short, but Strikers and Co are pushing through, just seem to be flowing like the tide here. Breaker and Co need to do something special to get back in. Saki's going to find one. Is it going to be enough? No, it is not. That is going to be a 5-1 win for rated R. They just walked through Obey Alliance there.
It really did. They really did. And well, I mean, we have to say, you know, that was the pick for rated R there, but
yeah,
even still, you expect more of a fight, honestly, from Obey there.
Yeah, sort of went down without a whimper there, didn't they? Has to be said. Obey dropped to rated R 5-1 in map number 1, and not really anything to write home about if you're Obey Alliance. Yes, you got that one pretty nice round. Like, they played that well. That one round they won. Couldn't compliment them more. You know, it didn't start well, and then they make the push. It was well coordinated. They eventually get the domination towards the end. However, every other round, I want to say poor from them, but rated R played it well as well. Let's not take anything away from that.
That's it, right? I mean, the key round for me was that round after Obey won their singular round. Obey had a good hold on it. Rated R, they managed to fight back and find their way through lots of stages of holds from Obey, and that for me is the mark of a solid performance. Is that when you're down, can you get yourself back into it? And Obey couldn't. Rated R did, and that's why the scoreline was so heavily rated R favored. Right, as soon as rated R had any sort of a lead, they won the round.
Yeah, they were very, very solid in holding their positions. They were good at they just played a good game there, rated R, let's be honest. And my 2-0 predictions on the cards here, boys. So as this proves 2-1, let's not
looking a little bit less likely at this moment in time.
You know, if you were betting, I'll be checking out if I was you. But at this point, I think I think rated R are looking fairly solid. So we will see map number 2 up in a second. If you're Obey there, other than everything, what went wrong there?
Silly deaths, mispositioning. I mean, they're the main two things.
Gunfights. Yeah, just silly little things.
Just honestly, like the positioning bit that I called out by TJ.
Yep, there was a lot of that. Yeah,
just knowing where your safe places are and where your dangerous places are. Enemy spawn, kind of de facto dangerous place. Side steps when there's no one there, a little bit safer, a little bit more of an angle. And there was quite a few early deaths, I'd say, from TJ actually. You know, we sang his praises, but he was the cause of a couple of those rounds. Look, Rage as well.
I think
he was negative.
Just point out that last season, Obey, I think it was Saki, actually had the most engagements of anybody, and this sort of just tells the story. If Obey are rolling and they are slaying, they're in a good spot because they like to play fast. They like to play aggressive. If they can find those kills, they're looking great. If they don't, it doesn't look so great.
Yep,
that has to be said.
What truly worries me, kind of going forward for Obey at this point in time, is their ability to push setups and find a way through setups, because the setups that rated R have on District at least were good, but they were not infallible. You can break them down. Obey they just looked lost when they were trying to push any form of setup, and they were losing kill after kill after kill. The bandstand was probably the best example of that, where there was a fantastic setup by Rated R. They had the juice, they had the bandstand control, they had mid control, and everyone from Obey just kind of filtered into that bandstand and just got downed instantly. Yeah. And from that point, you cannot move on. You're in such a bad spot. 5v2. How are you supposed to go any further from that?
Coming up next, I do believe, is Icebound. What we're thinking? A
little bit of a better map for Obey.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I feel a little bit. We saw them in the qualification tournament on it. They look strong. They look very strong on it. They were making some very fast, good rotations on that map.
Yeah.
They were slaying out in that mid fight, in that trading post fight, and honestly, they did play the map well. Whether or not it's going to be enough to get themselves back from that deficit, that 5-1 deficit, and come back and win 2 maps in a row, I'm not too sure.
Similar story, possibly, isn't it? Yeah.
Potentially, but realistically, Obey, they looked second class in that fight.
They did. Let's see what happens on Icebound very, very shortly. We're going to be loading in a second. And see, everyone's here. Come on, guys, get it rolling. we want to see what's going on. I think, you know, when you see that previous map and the way that they lost, for me, it just, I know maps make a difference.
Yep.
You know, maybe they're just not great at District, but
does it make so much of a difference?
Yeah, exactly.
I think you got to look at District versus Icebound and how those maps kind of relate.
Yeah,
they're quite similar.
Yeah,
like it's a big old rush to get into a mid channel.
Yeah, and then see what happens from there.
And then you kind of fight it out. There's a couple of tall bits to help hold that's strong to put. I mean, there are changes to Icebound. We haven't touched on that yet. That we should probably talk about a little bit. But in essence, it's the same map. The only real difference for anyone who's not seen the patch notes is the 2 towers where the slides are. The top cover has been taken off there.
Makes sense.
So you can get a little bit of an angle and shoot through and push people off that front cover. The problem is that you need to get around to the other side of Trading Post to be able to do it, because you can't do it from your half of the map. So in escalation, it's actually like, it doesn't make all that much difference. The difference it does make, and we saw Fractures utilize it, was that you can get down that slide much quicker now, because you can roll forwards and basically head off the slide head first, and you don't get locked into that animation of jumping and then sliding. You just basically roll, go down the slide, just clip the bottom, and then you're back on your feet. So it's a very quick rotation for anyone trying to loop basically around that hill there. Whether or not that change will come into play here, who knows? It's quite nuanced, but there is definitely use for it if you can get it.
If anybody needs the help, it's Obey Alliance.
Yep.
Not looking good for them at this moment in time. They need to get something rolling here as we go into map number 2. But Rated R, can they continue where they left off there? Those last couple of rounds, every single round actually they won in the previous map, was very convincing. Can they give us another quick map here? Let's find out.
We'll find out. TJ, he's going to be the first one in. He looked very strong in this trading post when he was playing in the qualification tournament. He basically had full control over that, and he is the first one taken out. J Rage as well. He's going to get taken out as well. It's very difficult to make this B push when there's 2 members of Rated R. Yeah, this is already a bit of a bloodbath.
Well, Pains has just ran through about 3 people. Nice and easy from him. They're just chasing kills, clearly feeling themselves right now. I tell you what, though, they may have overextended here. Pains is going to go down, as is Marsh. So that might actually just give Obey Alliance a little bit of a route back into this game. However, they will find themselves behind very shortly. The control belongs to Rated R.
Yep, and there's that slide change I was talking about. They just removed that top cover. So we saw Ashens be able to rotate very quickly around and grab this B hill from up top. Good smoke grenade there by Slazin. Nice utilization of a little bit of a different grenade. We see a lot of the flashbang, obviously, and that, again, much like the Markser, was a big discussion point earlier on in Gears 5, and now that discussion's turned a little bit more towards the kind of movement side of things and player traversal rather than the weaponry. But still, interesting to see players utilizing different weapons for different loadouts where possible.
It's as the meta develops, isn't it? That's one thing. And as time goes on, people start to figure things out a little bit better, and then there's, of course, the fact that patches come through, etc., that these things do all make a difference. Slow round here, though, between these two. Nobody really garnering any sort of big advantage right now. Of course, it is Obey Alliance in control with A and C. Rated R put a lot into this to try and get a hold of B. Marsh now in a tough spot as Pains has dropped down as well. I expect the aggression to come out from Obey Alliance in a second just to seal the deal. It may come in a moment, but they're quite happy to sit back here.
Yeah, and that's where another team probably wouldn't have sat back, right? They'd have made that push. They'd have relocated. Saki with a good angle. He's able to just help out on this B hill. You can see Marsh trying to do his best to keep his teammate alive. Pains, he's going to fall. Slazen's going to fall. This fight is a very, very good one for Obey. Everyone's crawling. They're going to clean this up, and this should go in Obey Alliance's favor. I don't think anyone's off spawn to be able to cap this. Nope. Obey Alliance looking in their first round, and a bit of a better showing there from Obey.
Yeah, just used the Lancer Fire well and kept Radar at bay in all fairness. What does it roll? Much better out of them. Can't Radar get rolling though here. It seemed like a good start. They just couldn't quite finish it off. Here come the weapon placements. Anyway, smoke grenade down for Obey Alliance. Expect something fairly similar from Radar.
Yeah, maybe down at this this stable spawn side. Usually it is the bottom side of the map that kind of gets loaded up a little bit quicker. So interesting to see that smoke grenade go down. Perhaps heading the same route as E's Finest, looking for a talk bow down that side of the map.
Oh, we do like the talk bow, you specifically.
I'd be happy with a marksman up there as well, just something to utilize that high point. But yeah, does make things a little bit more interesting. And I wouldn't expect another snipe spawn, but we'll see how that goes. This is TJ's kind of hold, essentially. This is where he was almost the entire qualification tournament in this trading post. Does push out, does get taken out. Dragon's looking for another one.
8 shots.
And they do play so quickly to this Rated R team.
It was looking like another similar round out of Obey there, but Rated R just about catching them off guard, as said, towards the trading post. So unfortunately, Obey can't set up in the same vein that they tried to last round. Of course, they are going to back off here. Rated R, they should be able to get a bit of control over towards B, though, because of this push over towards A.
Yep, and what it does, it forces the flash grenades out of Obey. So now they don't have the flash to push up on this hill, and it's a much more difficult push, right?
But if you're Rated R, you didn't get a hold of B.
You didn't get hold of B.
They may, yeah.
You're trying your best, right? This is it's a very difficult push. Even if you've got an extra person here, you're always pretty much going to have someone go down unless your movement is pretty much perfect. Cog will dominate. What's going on up here? That was a bit close for comfort for Obey. I'm not quite sure how.
Well, Dragons and Marsh, the two-man band, trying to get things done there for the domination. It is going to be Rated R in control here. They did manage to get B while that exchange was going on, so not in a bad spot here. Rated R looking to get on the board here for the first time in map number 2.
Yeah, about a 40-point lead now, 50-point lead. As things start to get into this midsection, J-Ray's just holding out trading post now. This is pretty much an Obey special. They really do like to keep someone just holed up in here, right in the corner. Even if there's a man advantage for the opposite team. Yeah, the angles you get from this trading post are just very, very good. That said, though, it looks like Rated R, they're doing a lot of work down here. Lots of downs coming out. Blizzard comes in at the right time as well for Breaker, but isn't able to get out of that. And now, Rated R looking even stronger with their position. Can they get hold of B? I'm going to say they got a hold of it. A couple of extra seconds is all that was needed. Over on the opposite side of the map, looks like Obey. They made a push up middle, couldn't get any further. They were cut off by Dragons. And now the trading post, they're back in here. They need to make a move, though. They can't just be sat here, right? They can't just be holding out. There's so many points behind. They've got to get the decap at B at least. Decap at C as well.
Setting up for TJ and Ashens to make the push through. They will get the decap at B. They do need to make a push over towards C, as you said. Dragons will find one, and J-Rage. The kill starting to go over towards Rated R. This is going to be a Rated R round, you feel?
You would feel, but looking at this, they might be able to get the decap. Not quite sure they're going to get the domination. Pains is very, very weak. Looking for the one shot. Is he able to get the revive on Marsh? TJ, oh, he honestly may have been better off just kind of staying in the ring. Breaker just doing his best as well. Elimination victory is going to come in. I think they're just been a nuisance, just decapping over and over again. Might have been a better play, especially with Breaker coming in as reserve. A 2v3 might have been the better choice, but it was valiant. And now 1-1 the scoreline. Not too bad at all.
Well, this is better from Obey, though, you have to say. We question whether this map would be a reason as to why they could maybe get into this game, and so far so good. Has to be said, they're not looking too bad here. Unfortunate to lose that round. Rated R though. Do want to try and get something going here. They have slowed down just somewhat.
Nothing exciting on the map just yet. Shot grenade on one side. That's a little bit exciting.
Depends how well you use it though.
It's true. If you reuse finest, it was very, very exciting. TJ now in a very, very bad spot. Looks like it's Rated R going to clean up as well. Now Breaker hightailing it. Got to get back to his home hill. Rated R going to leave him there, actually. They don't really care too much. They're going for the angle. Slazen might have even been better off lancering up top there, pushing Ashens away from that hill.
And Breaker is going to get a kill on the Pains as well, so that might just slow the bleeding slightly, but A and B is in Rated R's favour. So Obey going to have to fight back here. Lancefire coming in. Slazen should probably get the hell out of dodge.
Yep.
He is going to, but they have forced him away, so that's going to give them some control over towards trade and posted. Then it's cleaned on up from up top. Rated R though, still in control here.
A nice bit of communication there as well from Obey. As they made that push, they called to their player up top, Ashens, just to break the ice under the jump down. So even if he did jump out there, he was going to get taken out anyway. The ice would slow him, would kill him. Good flashbang coming out. Just enough to try and maybe get this cap here. TJ's going to fall. He's picked back up, sorry. And that shot grenade as well, just to delay that push.
They have most decap B yet, a little bit. The mill will capture it as well. It's looking like they will. The Lancefire coming in for Rated R, not quite quick enough. They are going to win a gunfight over onto Saki though, and here comes the aggression coming out of Pains. TJ and J-Rage though win a couple of gunfights. Going to come down to Ashens, who finds two, cleans up the third as well. Nicely played by him. That's Obey. Now in control of this round themselves. The win condition for themselves actually 73 seconds. They're looking aggressive here as well. Marsh is just going to shut this one down, you feel, or was trying to at least.
He's got a 1v2 situation at the other hill as well as this one. Ashens, a lovely Obey. Going to go back to B hill. Isn't able to get out there, and maybe this is maybe a little bit too overzealous by Obey. They might have lost B hill for this. Marsh, he does get taken out in the end, but he drew so much attention away from that home hill that Obey just couldn't take it in time. They couldn't defend it. And now the B hill taken off them. Dragon's going to go down for this cap. Payne's going to come and finish that one up. Slazen as well, just sneaking a few points off him, basically. Stat padding is what we call it.
Well, the win condition now back with Rated R, but they are going to be forced away here with a well-placed utility grenades. That's the brick going to come through, so that's a swarm win condition now. Obey Alliance still trying to fight back, just using their brute force here, actually, to get a hold of B. If I'm Rated R here, I'd like to see them concentrate a little bit more on both the home hills, in all fairness, just extend over instead of playing this game of
the problem
ringy round the rosy here. It seems, isn't it? You know, they're just in and out, in and out.
It is difficult. I mean, Dragon's obviously going down wasn't ideal, but the difficulty that they are having is that Saki is holding this mid tunnel. He's just jumped out now, which opens up this mid route a little bit for Rated R to try and make this push. But while there is someone in trading post, it is so difficult to make this push through. We're going to see a knife come out from Saki. Saki connects, takes out Strikers. TJ now, he's in the ring. He's hidden out behind Dragons. He gets the kill, and Marsh, Lone Ranger up here by the Sea Hill, he gets taken out as well. Pains is back. He trades out. This is probably going to be an Obey round. Ashton has managed to get a kill on Slazen as well, and I don't think that Rated R can really do much about this anymore.
Nope. It'll have to be a decap or at C. Doesn't look like there's anybody near enough. And they'd have to keep hold of B, which they're about to lose. So there you go. Obey Alliance 2-1 up here, keeping their lead. Trading blows back and forth.
Have a quick look what the teams are going to be placing down this round. Last round of the half. Kills definitely going in Obey's favour this time around. They were down a little bit in the last game. J-Rage, sadly, still at the bottom. Having a bit of a better game this time around. He was 6 or 7 to 11 in the last game at this point, but definitely a much better showing this time around. Even if at the bottom, he's doing a lot of work for his team.
It's not how many kills he makes, it's the important ones.
No, Ashens, obviously, he's doing very well this time around. Same with TJ, actually. We gave him a lot of flack on District for not being in the right place, right time, but this time around, he's obviously been helping his team. His stats are getting a little bit padded by being in that middle room as well.
Oh yeah, 100%. Of course, you know, assists coming in here as well, count as eliminations. That does quite often help. Oh, Ashens.
He had the opportunity there, did Dragons.
Dragons, just maybe take your time a little bit more. Ashens gives him the opportunity, but the door is shut just at the final moment. So Ashens survives that time round. People like Dragons, though, you don't expect him to miss those. Rated R will get some control here, though. Oh, he doesn't get a second opportunity. Oh, my word. Speechless. Saki goes down and he does connect with Ashens, but can't quite get it done.
All he needed was one bullet from one of his teammates there, and that would have been a double. We are going to see Obey push up, though. Let's see what's going on over this side around things. Obey, J Rage trying to get the kill on Pains. Delays a little bit. Pains just been a nuisance, hidden behind the rock. They just get taken out. Dragons has moved around as well. He's trying to make this push on B Hill. But he's going to get lanced in the back. Shotgun in the back, in fact.
Swarm domination is denied over at C. Rated R still with a slight lead here, though. So they're okay with this, but looking at Strikers. Yes, okay, it is the final round, but bearing in mind that one more death and he will not be able to take part in any more of this round, so advantage 100% with Obey here. Played so much better on this map. Rated R know they need to make a push here. They are going to decap B. That suits them perfectly fine. 2 minutes or so away. If it stays like this from winning the round, the win condition in their favour.
It's a long time to wait, though. 2 minutes.
It is a very long time to wait.
I kind of feel like we're going to see another cap in that time window.
Yeah, I was just being hypothetical for.
I'm sorry. Try my best. Yeah, you're right. But it is technically true, right? If they stick like this.
It's definitely true.
Should we move over to someone else? Let's have a quick look what's going on up here by the trading post. Saki's pushed up a little bit.
Right, they're getting aggressive over towards trading post, actually. Obey, counteract that with aggression of their own. Marsh goes down. They get some control in mid. That might allow them to get some control over towards B. Shot's going to go in towards Dragons. He should go down. Really good work from Obey here. They're just getting controls at certain points of the map and making it work for them.
Yeah, that they are. And talking of control, they're just trying to keep control of their home hill. Great Lancer fight. Both members of Obey there rotating around Breaker and Saki. That was, and they just basically both got the best angle that they could. Didn't give Strikers any chance whatsoever.
Strikers is out now as well.
Exactly. He gets taken out because of that. Bit of a difficult situation to be in there. Saki's going to go back and grab this shot grenade. This should help them to secure this B hill now.
Can they get this locked down? Or can Rated R hold on 4v5?
Shot grenade comes out. That's fantastic there. Down Slays in almost instantly.
Yeah, he's in a tough spot now. The smoke comes out, though. Can they keep them off it? Just about. Slays is going to drop, though. Dragons drops as well. That's another player gone. That's 3v5 now. This should be around over towards Obey Alliance. You say that, though. Marsh is starting to tee off yet. Gonna start hitting shots with the M-bar, but the problem is that they don't actually have anything to their name right now. This should be an Obey Alliance win. I say that, though. A couple of kills going to come in the favour of Rated R. They do need to capture something here, though, but if you are Obey, you're just cracking at the seams.
Oh, Marsh and Pains, they've come to play. Cog are going to eliminate just like that.
Ooh.
They're in a 3v5 situation, and they take him out. Marsh is back with a vengeance.
That's a big round. Obey will feel like they should be 3-1 up, but suddenly it's 2-2. Just play your numbers. They just got too excited.
Fine, you're gonna have a 2v1 or a 3v1 somewhere on the map. Just hold it. Just don't play. And that was all opened up by that M-bar kill, right? Marsh managed to find a pick. Turns round, they managed to 2v1 someone who realistically should have been nowhere near where he was. I'm not sure who it was from Obey, but just pushing out into that that no man's land, middle of the ice field, and then a sweet 2v2 to clean things up.
A sweet 2v2.
Look at that. Get out of here.
He's not very happy.
Nope. I wouldn't be either. Nor will Obey, to be quite honest with you.
No, that's the sort of round that can tilt you in the wrong direction.
Oh, you're not wrong.
Obey trying to get very, very aggressive inside the trading post here. Will take a lot of shots, though. Dragons will find Saki. That's actually with the M-bar as well. So Dragons hitting some shots. Can he continue it here for Rated R, who seem to be in the ascendancy now? The push coming in over towards trading post. The jump over not quite enough, and the kick will be punished. Ashen's now in a really tough spot. He's going to be left alone. Slays it. rotating around. They want this round done and dusted. Rated R getting aggressive as they so often do. Breaker's going to find one. Could he find the second? Not quite. Strikers is going to find Saki. Is going to find Breaker. They can't jump on F here. There's nobody really around for Obey Alliance. TJ, can he produce a little bit of magic here? Once again, not going to happen. That should be the domination coming through. Rated R are starting to hit back. 3-2 now.
They've ignited the fire, haven't they?
Yeah.
They've set it going. It is a tilter, that one, and yeah, now 2 rounds in a row. Obey back on that back foot. They could have been so far ahead right now.
Oh god.
3-1, and now they're on the 3-2 deficit, just like that. Let's see who gets placed down. More incendiary grenades now on the map. Lots of fire going around, and Ashens gets a chance to respond now. Looks like he might be downgrading that shot. Oh, not downgrading it, sorry. Turning down the timer on it. Oh no, he's going to match that M bar. Interesting choice. I think that might be worthwhile.
Yeah, to be fair, Dragon's got the opening pick last round for Rated R with that M bar, so
having something to match that is a bit of a given.
It's going to be Saki on the side of Obey. With Dragons, can he do what he did in the last round? Oh, great shots by Dragons there. He's going to take J-Rage down, but Ashen's actually going to find 2 inside a trading post. Saki finds 1.
Dragons plus the shot as well.
Yeah.
Incen's going to pick that up though, so now 1v1 these M-bar players against one another. Who's going to switch first? There's the fire.
Good lord.
You throw a flashbang, we throw an incendiary.
Now if you're strikers, you need to try and stay alive. You'll do very well to do so.
Just run off. Just get out of there, you know? Like,
just needs to get out.
Tail. As soon as you know you're in a bad spot, just go back to the wall. It's so much easier to defend than sitting on that box.
Obey Alliance now with a little bit of control here. But they have had control before.
They have.
Can they throw it away once again?
Potentially. Well, we will see. Obey Breaker. Let's have a quick look at the stats whilst we're in this. A bit of a lull as the team's trying to work out their next play. 26 eliminations there for Slazin. 21 for Ashens, leading the way for Obey. I think it's pretty even, to be honest with you, across the board. I'm looking at that 21-6. I'm looking at that 16-7 on the side of Obey.
Oh,
TJ just holding out.
It's kicking off. Dragons finds 1. Ashens finds 2. The kills momentarily going in the favour of Rated R, but Marsh comes in with 2 once again. Big kills.
You have to say, he's been one of the difference makers. I'd say him and Payne's right now for Rated R. Trying to find this 3rd kill. He's got so much damage down. Switches to that pistol. Baiting Breaker just to pop up his head just a little bit. And now reinforcements arrive for both teams.
Rated R need to get something going here, though. If you look at the score in the top left corner, they're the ones that really do need to get a hold of E. I think it should switch it in their direction just about if they can get it soon.
This firing squad from Obey up top. So difficult to get a cap on that E hill without at least losing 1 person. And now, see the Cantus moving down. Just getting a bit of an angle into trading post. Incendiaries are picked up, so Slazen's got those. 1 sweet incendiary up on that pipe would do a lot of work, to be honest with you.
And it's still a swarm win condition as well, even with only having a
Breaker,
hold of 1.
No!
Slazen is going to take down Breaker, but it might not matter here. Obey Alliance should be able to walk away with this one. This should be a domination flying on through. It's looking that way. Obey Alliance looking like they're going to tie it up 3-3. They're still in a really good spot to win this round, though, Fruit.
Yep, they are. There's a bit of a skirmish going down by the F hill, but realistically, this one should be Obey's to lock in. I say that, TJ loses his head. Dragons, he's very good with this M-bar. I'll give him that. He's doing a lot of work here, trying to find something for his team, but no one over by that D hill, as you see on the minimap.
He's done well.
He's done all right, hasn't he? He's a good, fun player to watch his Dragons.
3-piece now. Can anyone establish any sort of lead here? It's been backwards and forwards. 2 more rounds needed for both teams here.
Question is now, what's the next play for these teams? Do they look at halving these M-bars? Do they look at blocking perhaps their opponents? Looks like the half's going to come in at least on one side. Expect it to be matched. There it is.
Well, into round number 7 we go. Can Obey Alliance take a lead once again?
And we've been given Dragons the benefit of doubt, opening up with this M-bar. Let's jump on board once again. Let's see what happens here. Charging up. Isn't able to get anyone running in this time around. It looks like Obey changed their strategy just a little bit now. They're going to play a little bit further back, play a little bit more reserved.
The points now have changed, of course. E moving up to this middle bit in the previous round. Previous round? Doing 2 rounds ago.
2 rounds.
Yeah, well, just letting everyone know in case they didn't see it.
It's fine. I didn't. Thought we're still playing B. I'm joking. Didn't know. But it is worth noting. And look at how silent it is out here. Just the sound of an M-bar charging up every now and again.
Rated R have the tick against OB line, so it's advantage to them.
Yep, it's true. It's very true.
Any plans for later after? Or?
Nah, not much. Gonna go home. Get some supper.
Some supper.
Some supper.
Yep.
Oh, there we go. Moment I move off him. Gets himself a kill. Breaker dies. Oh, Breaker kills J Rage to the ice, rather.
We're going to have to come back to that supper conversation in a second, but let's continue with the Gears of War one instead. As it does sort of start to ignite. Marsh is going to find another kill onto Breaker as well. So getting aggressive and just knew he was in a bad spot. Really good aggression, though. He is going to find Marsh nicely done. E eventually has went over towards Rated R, though, but D, enough. Belong to Orbit.
Yep, maybe not for much longer. They're on a 2v3 situation now. Slazin pushing in with absolutely zero fear. Flashbang comes out. Ashens is going to push up. Ashens is going to go down as well. Kind of just got left on his own there by his team. Oh, there's Saki. Saki's chilling out on the stairs. Does fall as well. Let's have a look at this M-bar. Dragon's going to move himself across. He's getting lanced in the back now. You can see the response on that X-ray camera. Breaker it is. Breaker. He lost his head. Dragon's looking for a second.
Marsh is going to find one, as is Slazin on the aggression. I tell you what, it's backwards and forwards this round after a slow start. It's now Rated R's chance to try and win this round, and all of a sudden, they get that chance. They just find those rounds.
2 rounds in a row, and that's because Saki and Ashens, they left each other basically in 1v3 situations. If they'd have both just backed out, ran back to the ice field, got themselves back to that lock area, and just held up, they're probably in a decent enough situation to hold that round out, Obey, and just kind of...
So you think that's like a communication thing?
I'm not sure if it's communication, if it's bravado. Like, that's another thing. Like, a lot of these, not specifically these players, a lot of Gears players in general, they like to take the fight. Yeah, like, I can take this. One flashbang down. That's an easy triple. It's not an easy triple, especially not in the Pro League. And right there, perhaps that flashbang's better used to extract yourself rather than go forth. But yeah. It's something for the VOD review for the team, right? It's something we keep an eye on here. But realistically, the teams will know as much as, or more than we do, really. Saki, he opened up with the kills last time, just looking across now towards that lock.
Look for Dragons. Gonna find anything, and once again, we posture.
Yep.
See if anyone can find a little edge. No damage going down. Let's go back to the supper conversation. I've never heard anyone call it supper for quite some time. Is that like a southern thing, or?
What, food?
Supper.
Before bed?
I mean, I've seen Matt's face.
What would you call it? A snack?
Well, I wouldn't...
A bedtime snack?
I don't know, I just would never use that word.
Would never go for it?
No.
No.
I'd have dinner.
Yeah, but what about if you ate after dinner?
That's a good question.
It is a good question.
What's the nighttime version of breakfast?
Second
my word!
Oh,
that's okay. I was going to try and find a segue to that one, but I can't. Saki takes the head off of the Dragons. Nearly finds Slazin as well. That could be the catalyst for Obey getting back into this game. However, I say that Strikers and Slazin doing great work. Doing fantastic work, if anything. Slazin eventually does go down, but at the same time, the damage has already been done. J-Rage has to do something special. Kills Breaker while he's at it. Unfortunate scenes if you're an OB Alliance fan.
Yep.
Rated R in control now.
Yeah, just like that. Flips on its head. It looked like Obey were going to be a good spot there with that first headshot, but it's gone. Rated R, full control.
It seemed as if the trap was set somewhat.
Yep.
Sat back, lanced, shotgun, easy done.
TJ's got 3 shots. Does connect, and again, 1-2 bullets. Difference between a bit of damage and a kill.
Trying to find the shots on Slayers in. Here come the rest of the team as well, supporting the Embar player. Saki will take him down. Marsh now not in the best of spots as Obey are going to force the issue here as he has to get the hell out of trading post now.
Oh, that's a good down there. TJ just switching targets. Able to get the down again, perhaps? Isn't. Dragons is, though. Bye-bye, face. TJ falls. Once again, they look to be in a very good position, did Obey, but just like that, a quick kill.
Yep, rated R.
Leads to so much more.
Flicking the switch. 25 seconds away from closing this series out. Slazen backs up to his home hill as well. TJ having to get going, runs past, just trying to get something going. Trying to find himself in a difficult position for them to deal with him. Marsh finds one. Slazen will find his teammate here, so this may be an opportunity for Obey to try and get back in. Ashen's dead. Pains finds the shot once more with the Embar, and the Embar has been so strong for Rated R, and it might be the big reason as to why they're going to win this one. Good shots by Starkey. It's too little too late. It's far too late. Rated R now. Keeping a hold of F, keeping a hold of what they need to, winning the round, winning the series. Rated R. Start how they started the previous quarter of the Pro League, with a win. And a convincing one at that. Very well played by them. And they will take this one 2-0 here for OB Alliance. Not quite at the races today, you feel?
No, it looks like they didn't punch their ticket to ride. They honestly, they underperformed in my eyes. Not what I saw in the qualification tournament, for a start. And secondly, so many opportunities there for Obey where they, they were on the front foot and they just didn't take that Embar into account. They just lost a little life here or there. And in the end, 5-3 the score. It could quite easily have been, in my opinion, 5-2 the other way. Yeah. Just with a couple of changes in how they approach some certain situations.
And I think that's probably going to be the big annoyance for Obey, isn't it? The fact that there was a couple of rounds they could have won very, very easily. And I mean, look, we'll give District well and truly over to Rated R. They were above and beyond the team by all means. There. Much, much stronger, but Obey will be disappointed with that second map. Rated R, though, they did as well as they could have in the situations that were presented to them. Specifically, that 3v5 is one that will stand out, of course. And I think it's hard to completely blame Obey, but at the same time, I think Rated R,
You know what? Welcome back to the Pro League, Mosh. You very much proved already that you belong here. Likewise, Strikers on his new team looked like he'd fit in almost immediately, playing at the pace. Pains, honestly, just a good performance all round from Rated R, and their new roster looks strong, and I'm glad to see that, first impressions, they've made improvements to that roster and hopefully will be a little bit more competitive this time around. Well,
the Marsh pickup looking good so far. Let's have a look at the table once again. If you're a Rated R fan, looking good also. 1 win.
By all means.
0 losses. The round difference, having themselves above EU's finest. Nicely done, though, in all fairness. That was an impressive win. EU's finest. I don't want to say we expected them to win against Regal's Reserve, but typically online they have had the better of them, and has to be said. So winning that one, but Rated R getting a really good win up against OB Alliance first week back. That was alright, wasn't it?
I think it was alright.
Yeah, there's
some good games, some nice clips, I think.
Yeah, some good maps. Yeah, it makes my job a lot easier when we're making the highlights of these shows. Guys, if you didn't miss any of it, they will be up on the VOD very, very shortly on our YouTube, of course. And thank you very much for joining me once again, It's a pleasure to be back with you. Yeah, we've got another 5 weeks of this now. Yeah, don't look too pleased to be spending your next 5 weeks with me.
It's all good fun. Yeah, I like being here with you.
Thanks, mate. Thanks. Right. Not many people are nice to me on this show, let's be honest. Toby Campbell's usually quite nice to me, but
You might get him for a week.
Maybe. We'll see how I feel.
If I give up my seat for a week.
We'll see how I feel. Anyway, guys, we are going to leave it there. 2 fantastic games, but we'll resume where we left off. Let's see how this one's going to continue. We'll see you next week for more EU Pro League action.